We'll keep you posted as far as that weather forecast. Check in with Chris here in just a minute. Back to our top story now. It is being called an historic day in the fight to end hazing across college campuses around the nation and here in Ohio. A nearly $3 million settlement reached between Bowling Green State University and the family of Stone Foltz. The BGSU sophomore died after an alcohol-fueled fraternity hazing incident back in March of 2021. As Tiffany Tarpley tells us, they say today is a huge step toward change.
It was a hospital bedside promise two parents made to their son, BGSU student Stone Foltz, before he died.
We would end hazing, and we wouldn't allow this to happen to anyone else.
Today, Sherry Foltz believes her son would be proud of what's happened since that terrible day.
He knows that's exactly what we're doing, and I think he'd be smiling.
Smiling because that change is much closer to reality than it was 2 years ago. After filing a wrongful death lawsuit in June of 2022, the Foltz family and BGSU have reached a deal. The announcement was made in Columbus with the Foltz family attorneys by their side.
Hopefully the message this sends is that universities need to do a much better job of proactively enforcing their policies.
It's being called an historic agreement, which includes a partnership between the family and university to end hazing, as well as a $2.9 million payout to the Stone Foltz estate. Parents Corey and Sherry say the money will be used to further the mission of the I Am Stone Foltz Foundation to educate students and parents about the dangers of hazing and alcohol abuse.
To this day, we hear stories of Stone and how he's touched other individuals. So I think he would be very proud that we're continuing his legacy by helping others.
With criminal cases closed and only a few civil lawsuits pending, this legal chapter is nearly over for the Foltz family, but the pain will always be there.
There's never going to be any closure. Nothing's going to bring Stone back, obviously. So that piece of our heart's never going to be filled again.
But the hope is that the work that comes from this tragedy will keep other parents from experiencing similar heartbreak. In Columbus, Tiffany Tarpley, WTOL 11.
Attorneys for the Foltz family say settlements have been reached with the National Pike Fraternity and some individuals connected to this case. They believe today's announcement is the most important, however. A jury convicted 8 men on criminal charges in this case, ranging from hazing to reckless homicide. Together, BGSU and the Foltz family released the following statement, reading in part, "The Foltz family and BGSU are forever impacted by the tragic death of Stone Foltz. This resolution keeps the Foltz family and BGSU community from reliving the tragedy for years to come in the courtroom and allows us to focus on furthering our shared mission of eradicating hazing in Ohio and across the nation. Leading these efforts in our communities is the real work that honors Stone," end quote.
Bowling Green State University responded to the Stone Foltz tragedy in more ways beyond today's announcement. You might remember BGSU permanently expelled the Pi Kappa Alpha or Pike fraternity. School leaders also found 21 students responsible for a total of 83 violations of the BGSU Code of Student Conduct. 3 students were expelled from the university permanently, 17 were suspended, and lastly, it set up hazing prevention and education programs at the school to reinforce a zero tolerance for hazing on campus. You can track the latest developments in this case and read the full statements right now on our free WTOL 11 News app.